You're watching NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. That is Harrison Graham. All the questions you see from this mailbag, part of our live trade Q&A. First up from Trevor, who's a player that could get traded before the trade deadline, Harrison?
There's some guys that come to mind, Tom, when I think of guys that make sense. And when I think of players that could get traded before the deadline, impactful players on bad teams.
Okay.
Because teams who are trying to maybe get some draft assets. How about a Kenny Stills in Houston? They've started 0-2. Maybe they're 1-5 near the deadline.
He's also like wide receiver 4 for
them.
them.
And they flip him. And it was kind of weird that he made the team in the first place. And he's played fairly well so far. So I think that could make some sense. Can the Jets trade Le'Veon Bell? Can they find someone to trade for him? If a team needs a running back, gets desperate enough, that could be an option. Cam Brate for the Bucs. That's not as much of a team that they're going to struggle, so they're going to ship somebody. More of they have two good tight ends. And I mentioned a couple of Ryan Kerrigan was a defensive player.
They should trade him. He's
I
really
think that
good.
makes some sense as well. Mo Hurst of the Raiders makes some sense too. I think the Raiders
he's been relegated to a backup role for them.
Yeah, if a team needs a depth defensive lineman, I think he could be an option. Those are some names that come to mind, Trevor. I know you probably want more superstar names, but that's not super realistic in the NFL. It's not Major League Baseball.
From Jayce Carlson, he says, #trade KJ Wright and R, meaning Seattle, second-round pick for which defensive end?
Oh, man.
Ryan
Kerrigan.
Yes, I don't think it's right and a second. I don't think you have to go for that much. But if I'm Seattle, I'm picking up the phone every single week up until the trade deadline and going, hey, what do you want for Ryan Kerrigan?
Yeah.
You have Chase Young, you have Montez Sweat. Long term, he's not going to be a part of that Washington organization. Let's be honest here, they're not really a true playoff contender. If you can get a third-ish for Ryan Kerrigan, I think that's pretty good value. Again, I think that makes a lot of sense, Harrison.
Yeah, so I think that's Seattle needs pass rush. That's the bottom line. Whether it's Kerrigan, whether it's a free agent, somebody, you got to go make something happen.
More Seattle trade questions from Big Play Slay. KJ Wright for JJ Arcega-Whiteside and a fifth for his Eagles.
KJ Wright and Arcega-Whiteside and a fifth.
That's not enough for KJ
no,
Wright.
I mean, at least a third, right?
I mean Arcega-Whiteside isn't very good.
Yeah, that's like the Big Play Slay. I know you're a big NBA guy as well. That's like you trying to throw Justin Jackson for trade value with the Mavericks. There just isn't any when it comes to Arcega-Whiteside. So, yeah, you're going to need a little bit more to make that work.
Yeah, I don't think it's close to enough in the end for KJ Wright. I appreciate you being creative there, but that's not enough. All right, more not enough. EB says trade Philip Dorsett and a fourth for Odell Beckham.
Guys, we need better trade questions. Use #trade. Get them in there. We're scrambling here. Philip Dorsett and a fourth for OBJ. How about no BJ? Because that trade is not going to happen. As much as OBJ's trade value has tanked, it has not tanked to a Philip Dorsett and a fourth.
An inactive Philip Dorsett due to injury and a fourth-round pick. If that happens, the NFL should step in and veto it. So there will be some trades leading up to the NFL trade deadline. Historically speaking, not the biggest, but I want you guys to look into your crystal balls. Head down to the comments section and let me know who you think the biggest name to get traded during the regular season will end up being. From my fake burner account, Jags trade Minshew to the Lions for Mitch and a first-round pick. Do you mean Bears?
Yeah,
for Mitchell Trubisky and a first-round pick? Or do you mean Stafford and a first-round pick? Because the latter makes no sense.
A little confused here. Either way, I'll say this. The Jags are becoming one of my favorite teams to watch because they have built this thing to tank this year, and Gardner Minshew is basically like, screw you guys. I'm doing everything I can to keep a job, and good for him on doing that. They're 1-1. I don't think you trade Minshew right now because maybe he proves to be the answer. Speaking
of that, from I Expose You, if the Jags end up in the conversation of teams that could pick high but don't need a quarterback because Minshew's the guy, who is the new favorite for Trevor Lawrence?
By the way, what would it take for Minshew to be the guy? If he played at around this level for 16 games, regardless of the record, is he the guy?
If they are not within range of actually getting Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, so if they're outside of the top 2 or 3,
that means he's done a good enough job.
I think that he did a good enough job, and they'll give him another chance.
Yeah,
that's where I think it is.
As far as other teams go, I Expose You. Giants, if they just fall apart and Daniel Jones keeps turning the ball over.
You guys don't want to hear it. The Jets.
Yeah.
Like, I know Darnold's young and doesn't have much talent around him. He's not making a lot of plays either.
Yeah, I'm a Darnold defender, but look, at some point you got to try something else. I'd like to see him get a fresh start somewhere else because they just refuse to put talent around him.
Falcons and Panthers could be in discussion, too, as, like, surprise dark horse options.
Lions?
Yeah, I think so too. From Chris Rooks, Cheeto and a third for Patrick Peterson, Harrison.
Cheeto's played a little better.
He's been better.
I will say, he had one of the easiest picks you'll ever have in week 1. That's not going to get it done. Look, Arizona's contending.
Exactly.
Period. They're a good team. That's a team going to the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to the Super Bowl or anything like that, but you don't trade Patrick Peterson if you're Arizona.
Troy Daniels says a 5th or 6th round pick to Denver for Garrett Bowles. We'll see if intern Sam's paying attention. Thoughts on Garrett Bowles? He says get him the hell out of there. Look, Garrett Bowles is not that great. Also, despite intern Sam wanting to keep him, Denver has no offensive linemen. So I think no offensive tackles. Thank you, producer Brett. So if I'm the Cowboys, sure. If I'm Denver, I actually need him out there. So I think Dallas says yes. Denver says no. The Mamba Kobe Bryant, KJ Wright for a 2nd and 3rd to the Cowboys. But why would the Cowboys do this?
Yeah, a 2nd and a 3rd.
No way.
I get you're thin at linebacker. If it was maybe a 3rd only, maybe you consider. But can they even make it work financially?
Yes, but it hurts like re-signing Dak next offseason.
You got bigger issues than linebacker.
Seattle also needs KJ Wright still. They're not playing Jordan Brooks.
And linebacker depth is not the Cowboys' main problem.
Exactly. From Turd Boy, as the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside trade train continues, trade him for a Philly cheesesteak. Who says no?
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
From Jeff Fields McCormack, who should the Broncos target before the trade deadline? Sutton being out for the year could seriously hurt Denver's chances.
If you're Denver, producer Brett just whispered it in my ear. I was already way ahead of you. You gain assets, baby. Veterans that are expiring, like who's the guy they got from Tennessee this offseason?
Jarrell Casey.
Trade him. Get rid of all guys like that that could get you any draft picks in return, and we move forward because Denver's chances of contending this year pretty much are out the window at this point.
Yeah, with Drew Lock out, Jeff Driscoll's not going to win enough
Miller's
games for
playing.
you. I think Denver. It was always going to be a rebuilding process. It just gets extended another year as a result of the injuries. Now, we hope everyone out there is staying safe, wearing your face mask. If you need some more, they are 20% off a bunch of the multi-packs specifically at chatsports.com/stay safe. They've got 2, they've got 3, they've got 4 packs as well. Again, 20% off, not all of them, but the vast majority here. Chatsports.com/stay safe. So all you guys have to do, check the comments, check the description as well. They are all in there, so go check them out today at chatsports.com/stay safe. Harrison, which pack do you prefer the most?
I like the 4-packs because typically they're the best bang for your buck. You buy one of these, especially if you are single out there, that's going to last you a while, that 4-pack. So chatsports.com/stay safe. You can pick out your favorite ones.
From Gary Sanderson, who on the Cowboys could be realistically traded?
If they get fully healthy, I'd guess one of those corners maybe. Could a guy like Darryl Worley fetch you a 6th or 7th? Maybe.
Maybe Jordan Lewis could.
Jordan Lewis.
Because the Cowboys have committed to Anthony Brown being their nickel option.
And Lewis didn't look that good.
He got beat quite a few times in that game.
Yeah.
So, from Phoenix Boots, Ryan Kerrigan, a 3rd and a 2nd round pick of next year for Allen Robinson of the Bears.
2022?
I think he means a 3rd and a 2022 2nd, I guess. We'll just go that, sure.
Okay. I'm team #extend AR. I don't really get this idea of don't pay him because you need a number one. He's not worth enough. Yes, he is. He's really good. Don't trade Allen Robinson. The Bears have plenty of pass.
Honestly, yeah, the Bears. It doesn't make sense to me. I like the draft pick value, but maybe you bring in a 3rd team to take on Kerrigan because
they don't need a pass rush.
Yeah, have Quinn.
Quinn and
I think
Mack
you're okay
and
there.
Akeem Hicks.
From Claudio Jenkins, trade Adam Gase. Doesn't even want anything back, Harrison. Just wants him gone.
This is my favorite trade proposal so far. Get him out of there. You don't. And by the way, nothing in return. It seems like an even trade.